So today we're gonna learn how to find critical numbers. Critical numbers are pretty simple. It's just the zero of the f prime. So we start out with a simple equation. F of x is equal to x to the fourth minus 4x squared. Okay, so now we just find the derivative. F prime of x is equal to 4x cubed minus 8x. And now we just make the equation equal to 0. So 0 is equal to 4x cubed minus 8x. Now we can just take out the 4x because both of them have it. So 0 is equal to 4x times x squared minus 2. Okay, so now we just find what would make the equation equal to 0. The real simple one is just replacing this x with a 0. It would be like this.
Right. Well, we'll do another administration probably somewhere.
But I'll go to August 5th to learn what's on the TSI.
Okay, so whatever this is doesn't matter. It'll make the equation 0 because of this 0.
I told him,
So make it 0.
Yeah, and you don't pay
So this
all
works.
that stuff, so.
Now something else that we could do is put a positive or negative 2. That way we make positive negative square root of 2. Sorry. And make the 0. So we do that. So it can be either positive or negative, it doesn't matter. So either way, it will be a 2, which will make this equation 0. So this works. Okay. So now we put those numbers that we found, the critical numbers, and we put these into a little chart. So the purpose of this is to find where the minimums and the maximums are. Because we have the lowest one, which is negative square root of 2. Then we have 0. And then we have square root of 2. Okay, so we plug each one of these back into the original equation. We'll find out right here if f prime, and this is the first derivative rule now, if f prime of x is positive, then the graph is increasing. And if f prime of x is negative, then the graph is decreasing. And if the graph is either a minimum or a maximum, or f prime of x is 0, then it's a minimum or maximum. Okay, so now we put this back into the original equation, or we put a number to the left of it, be like negative 1. We put negative 1 to the equation, and we'll see that what we get is a negative number. If we put a number in between, then we'll see that this is a positive number. We put a number between these two into the original equation, we'll see that it's a negative. And if we put one after 2, then we'll get positive. So from here we can tell that it's going up and then going down. That means that we have a maximum right here. Or sorry, backwards. It's going down and then up, which means that we have a minimum right here. So right here it's going up and then down, which means we have a max. And right here it's going down and then up again, so we have another minimum. So that's really all there is to it. That's how we find critical numbers and we find the mix and max. So that's really it for this one. Yeah. So today we're going to learn how to find the critical numbers. Critical numbers are basically the zeros of the prime function. So let's start with a simple problem. F of x is equal to x to the 4th power minus 4x squared. Now let's start by finding the derivative. Okay, so this is very simple. Now to find the zeros, we must make this 0. Make it equal to 0. So now we just take out the 4x.
She was like,
Okay, so now we find that there are 2 zeros in this function, which are, you can make it, if you make this 0, then it'll make the whole equation 0. So 0 works. Now, here we can find another 0.
I'm kidding.
This could be either, it could be positive or negative 2, because if you square it, it'll both go to just 2. Wait, sorry, I made a mistake over here. It would be 4. Okay, so it'll just be equal to, no matter what we do here, positive or negative 2, they'll both be 4. So positive or negative 2 works. Okay, so now we just sketch a little graph for f prime, which we just do like this, and we put the numbers that we found. Wait, I messed up. We're gonna start over.
No, can we do it in parts like or?
Okay, so now we're gonna do one that's a little bit harder, but it's still pretty easy. I mean, finding critical numbers is really easy. So we're gonna do this equation: y is equal to x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3. Now you find the derivative, which is 3x squared minus 6x. And this 3 just goes away because it doesn't have a variable. Okay, so now you make it equal to 0. Okay, and something they have in common is that they both have 3x. So you take that out, you're left with x minus 2 on the inside. Okay, now you find what makes this equal to 0, or you can put as x. So you can just put it right here, make it 0, which would make everything else equal 0. So 0 works, and x is equal to 0. But also right here, if you make this 2, this whole thing will be equal to 0. So an x is equal to 2. Alright, so now we do this thing to find where the max and mins are. So here's the 0 and here's the 2. Okay, now we choose a number below 0, say negative 1. We plug it into the original equation. This would be a positive number. Now we put 1 in between, so 1. And that would be a negative. Now one that's higher than 2 like 3, you put in the original, it's going to be equal to a positive number. Okay, so now we see that it's going up and then down. And right here, it's going down and then up. So this right here would be a maximum. And this one over here would be a min. And that's really all there is to it. It's really simple. Alright. Now let's do another one. Another pretty simple one. So y is equal to 3x to the 4th plus 4x cubed. Okay. Now we find the prime. It's 12x cubed plus 12x squared. Alright. Now we make it equal to 0.
Square.
Oh yes, sorry. Squared over here. Okay, so as something they both have in common, it's pretty simple. 12x squared. You can take that out, and you get x plus 1 on the inside. All equal to 0. Okay, so now something you can do very simple. Again, just make this 0. So x is equal to 0. And right here again, you could put in -1, and that would make this 0. So x is equal to -1. Now you put them in this thing, -1 and 0. So let's lower -1, -2, we put into the original equation, we'll get this as a positive number. We put in the -0.5. Put into the original equation, we'll get a negative number. We put 1. Put into the original equation, this will be positive. Okay, so right here, it's going up and then down. Now it's going down and then up. So we get this as a maximum, and we get this one as a min. Okay, and that's really all there is to it. Again, very simple, very easy, it doesn't take very long. And all you need really is the first derivative rule. Anyway, that's it, and thank you.